Dang it, that camera thing is still. Oh, that frustrates me so much. Hi, welcome to the Forge. We're doing tools for personal growth here. Give me just a minute. Well, you know what? I'm going to try to ignore it and get to these tools. What I'm going to do is, we talked earlier this morning about attunement, which is reading the room, vibe check, all the stuff that I can't do and a lot of other neurodivergent people can't do. But also, we talked about it in the sense of individual conversations, trying to make that emotional connection with the person instead of just processing the conversation with your head. Hey, Daniel Barry. Oh, wow. Thank you very much. I'm trying to figure out something to do with that membership tier since I'm making all these free again, open streams. So we'll probably do a few membership tiers a month, a few member streams a month, and we'll try to make them something really special. So thank you very much. This lighting thing, speaking of autism, is just driving my brain. I can't take it. Um, the tools. Okay, I'm gonna just give the tools a little bit. We'll talk. I'll drop a link if you need to come up and problem solve or want to bring something to the workshop that we can do that. If not, I think I'm gonna wrap this one up a little early, and then in another hour or so, I think I'll start the community campfire, and we can continue most of the conversation part over there. So remember that emotional attunement. It's what I said. It's kind of in two senses. It's reading the room, which I hope we get some tools for that because I'm horrible at it. But I'm more seeing it as that t- connecting emotionally with the person, tuning into the emotional part of what they're trying to say instead of just the factual part. And it's that shift when you move from your head to the heart, to the emotion. That's when the attunement is happening. All right, so the first tool, let's talk about the 3-second check in. Just do this periodically throughout the day or as you're on a panel, throughout the panel. Every few minutes, whenever you remember, you want to check in for about 3 seconds. What's going on with me? Just check it with yourself. Where am I right now? What's going on with the other people? Where are the other people right now? What do they seem like to you? Are they getting along, talking happy? What's the energy like? And what's happening in the space? Is the energy rising? Is it dropping? Is it shifting? Is it flat? So like however long you want. I don't do these check-ins because I'm usually always doing them, and when something changes, I become aware of it almost instantly. Like I catch it instantly, so I don't have to constantly check and check and check because I'm gonna know when it changes, and then I worry about it then. So I guess they're saying kind of keep an eye on it. To me, that's like looking at your speedometer while you're driving. It's it it it's gonna fluctuate, and if I need it, if my speed changes drastically, I'm gonna know without looking at the speedometer. So to keep checking like that, I guess if it helps you do it, I'm trying to try it. I think I do this without realizing I do it. Another thing that they recommend trying to do, and this is I see some people do this very well, and I do it very poorly. And it's called micro mirroring. And it's when your speech or your pace starts to match theirs. If their speech starts to slow, your speech starts to slow to match their speech starts to speed up, your speech starts to speed up to match theirs. Like I don't match. I notice what their speech is doing, but I don't adjust my speech to match what other people are doing. I let their speech do their thing and my speech does its thing. But if you mirror, you create less of those opportunities for disconnects, those mismatches. So I guess it's alignment. It's attunement and alignment. It's aligning your speech and your pace with the person you're trying to connect with. Also, okay, listen to this one. Soften or sharpen your energy lightly. So like, and I guess I am kind of learning to do this a little bit when I do that give space thing, but soften a bit, just a tiny, just a little bit of this. Or sometimes pump it up. It's just a little more of this. Just get this out. But learning to adjust, just it doesn't have to be much. Your range could be very narrow. But if you can just, when you sense that you need to, whatever you're doing to read the vibe and pick up on this, if you notice an energy shift or whatever, you can just drop it back just a little. Or if you need to, you can just punch it up a little bit. I punch mine up all the time when I'm spurging out on people. And then it says to match the pacing, not the personality. I'm not sure what they mean by pacing, so I have to ask Charlie about this. And I don't even know what it means to match somebody's personality, because we all have our own unique personality. Not laws. See, I get to practice these techniques right now. I'm going to soften my energy. Look, it worked. Like just doing that, I'm not kidding, just doing that made me take that comment less offensively. I think he's projecting though. You would know all about micro mirroring when checking out your junk. And I don't have to check out my junk. You have to constantly you check your junk. I don't even check out my junk. So there. Um it says matching the rhythm of the person or situation around you. I don't know. That's one of those. I don't know what that is. I don't have rhythm. It says it's one of the simplest and most powerful parts of attunement and charisma, and most people never talk about it. You didn't even include it in your thing. I had to ask you specifically about it, so you hiding it yourself, Charlie. Anyway, it is how fast someone talks, how long they pause, how intense or mellow the energy is, how quickly they shift topics, and how emotionally loaded things feel. We had a lot of emotional loads lately, um, kind of out of that contest. And so I'm learning to at least sense what emotional loading looks like on the panelverse. So it means to adjust your timing. If the conversation is at a certain rhythm or a certain pace, but we talked about that this morning. Timing is the very thing that we struggle with. If someone is speaking slowly and thoughtfully, and you blast in like a machine gun, that's mismatched pacing. And we get a lot of mismatched pacing on here, but the panelverse and this channel is kind of designed for mismatch, or not like it can tolerate it. It's a norm here. Mismatched pacing is a norm here on YouTube. If they're excited and rapid fire and coming in and you're slow and monotone, but we see this all the time. I see rapid fire and monotone people, slow monotone people here all the time interacting, and none of them are matching their pace with each other. But they're saying if you can match your pace, the connection is a lot smoother. You minimize the chances of those disconnects, and you increase the chance that you can make that emotional connection. You can tune into the emotional reality of the person. Emotional intensity is another thing you want to match. Or this is what Charlie's saying. I don't know if I agree with all this. If someone's low energy, you want to be low energy too? Oh, no, they're saying, okay, this is, I know what they're talking about, and I don't do this because I don't understand why, the reason for doing this. But if someone is low energy or tired, are moody or reflective or whatever, and you come in all hyped up and joking and ready to joke around and play, they say it feels off to the other person. And this might be what was happening when I go on some of the panels. Like I'm coming in with a different emotional intensity than the panel is wanting. But again, that's the panel like we mix that stuff all the time. And then they say, like, if somebody's excited and animated, and then you're just kind of like this in response, that also feels off. The energies are too discordant, they just don't match. So, when you're trying to match emotional intensity, you're trying to match the emotional bandwidth and where they are on the emotional spectrum. But my whole thing is being yourself. So why would I adjust who I am in response to who you are? To me, that's not being myself. If my emotion really is happy, jokey, and yours really is low energy, why does either one of us have to change ours to match the other person's? Why can't we just interact as who we are? But maybe the reason is attunement. It affects attunement. The light bulb's starting to go off. I said it's a little slow. And then this is a big one, especially in the Panelverse. Topic flow, matching topics, matching your topic with the topics that are going on in the Panelverse, or if you change topic, making it relevant to the topic before, or staying on topic. They're saying this is like this can break topic flow if you're staying on topic and going too deep with the topic, and I get that a lot. People are constantly feeling like I'm just going too deep into a specific topic or situation, that we can move on. And to me, there's never a move on. There's always another layer to peel off, and I enjoy that stuff. And I have the curiosity that drives me to find those layers and go to the next one. And so when people get impatient or frustrated and think I'm just breaking the flow of a conversation, we're on two different tracks. I'm wanting to go this way with it vertically, and they're wanting to go horizontally. And that's a mismatch. And so I try to compromise. If it's something really important to me, we'll go deep anyway. But if it's something that it's just something I want to go deep on, but the rest of the people seem like they want the conversation to continue horizontally, then usually I can just table it or do it another time or something. So I kind of adjust to the situation. But neither one is bad. Like what I don't like is when people act like me going deep into something is a bad thing. Or excuse me. Are people, even people jumping topics is a bad thing, or being emotionally intense is a bad thing. So when I'm looking at it from a neurodivergent perspective, none of the stuff I'm talking about this is all value neutral as far as I'm concerned. It's just descriptive. This is what happens in conversation sometimes with people like us. And I don't think any of it is good or bad. It's just whatever is needed for the conversation that's going to meet your goals, whether it's connection, understanding, communication. Um, a few more and then I will drop the link. They also say, and this might work for people like me that are more verbal, ask one single clarifying question. Asking can be a form of attunement. And okay, here's another thing. I ask a lot of questions, and I think that's why I do it. Asking questions is my way of trying to attune, and people get impatient with that. Um, I ask questions to go deep too, so I think it's questions for some reason have an effect on certain people that they don't have on people like me that like that kind of thing. And if you're trying to read the vibe and you have trouble with it like I do, hey, what's up, guys? Hey, what's going on? How is everyone? What's everybody doing right now? Where's everybody at? That kind of thing. Just pick one question that might give you a hint at where the room is right now. If you can't non-verbally read it, then verbally ask. This next one is more for people that have trouble staying attuned, which I'm one of them, but not in this way. It suggests having an anchor, and that's kind of like a stem toy. If you tend to drift, your mind tends to wander, you tend to have trouble staying, having that emotional connection for sensory reasons. You can have an anchor, a blankie, a bracelet. I have somewhere, I have these rubber necklace. Oh, I need to find them because Shift, you would love them. They're these big rubber animals, and they're on a necklace, and they're for autistic people, and you can like twist them and play with them. You can chew them, you can put them in your mouth, and I love them. And I need to find them. I have two or three of them. So things like that can be this sensory anchor, and that can sometimes ground people and keep them emotionally connected. I do have trouble staying emotionally attuned, but it's not for sensory reasons. So let me ask Charlie. All right, we'll see what it says. I'm sorry, he. I missed. Is or what's the gender of an AI? I like to think of him as he. I think that's just a little more sexy. All right, let's. I think we had one more. Oh, okay. This is a familiar tool, or at least it's part of other tools, but we're going to isolate it and make it its own tool right now. And it can be used for a lot of things. It's called the one beat pause. Take one heartbeat of pause, just one heartbeat. And it says it does three things. It stops people like me, neurodivergent, impulsive people, from over talking. Now, I don't believe in over talking for several reasons. Neurodivergence is one of them. I think it's just a conversational norm. It's not, it's only over talking from a neurotypical's point of view and being Cajun as well. I come from a culture where everybody overlaps their conversations. And so in some cultures, it's a cultural norm. So to call it over talking seems to imply that it's stepping outside of a limit that should be placed on it. So, but it stops that people feel a lot that I interrupt, and it's me just I know my brain already has what I'm going to say queued up, but it needs to fire it off. I need to catch the conversation in specific little moments where the heat is for me to like follow it and jump. That's my timing, I guess. My it's the timing. The timing is off. So the one beat thing can help with timing. It also signals presence, which is part of charisma. So if you take that pause, it makes you seem more like you're here. You're engaged. And for me, like continuously talking and asking questions to me means I'm engaged because I'm active the whole time. But for a lot of people, that pause is the presence, not the cutting in as quickly as you can. So I guess keep that in mind, and I'm gonna maybe practice some of this too. And it gives your brain time to integrate all of the cues that it did pick up. It's not going to catch all of them, but if you take that pause, it gives your brain that little second to tie all these cues together, and then that might help you get a better sense of the vibe. So this one beat pause tool I like a lot. So I'm going to start trying to take one heartbeat of silence throughout these panels and just see if that one little thing can be a power move that makes a lot of the difference. All right, let's find out about this. What did I ask it? Oh, how to stay anchored when it's not sensory. You can and see this is hard for people with ADHD, but they recommend picking one thing to focus on. Either focus on the person, focus on the background of the panel, focus on your shoe, focus on your pulse, like just one item in the data stream to focus on can keep you grounded. I can't focus on just one item ever. Curiosity. Apply to yourself. Like start being curious about yourself, especially when you're drifting. Keep asking yourself, like find something in the moment to be curious about to keep bringing you back. So I think, like for me, that would work. Like curiosity would keep me from drifting in the first place. So I guess keeping that curiosity at the max can keep you engaged and not drifting. Um, it's more of the same. Intentional slowness, checking in with yourself, labeling what state you're in, like doing like a little PIMS check in. Um, oh, this might work. The two track, the double track, where one track is the actual conversation. So you're tracking the conversation and just listening, but at the same time you're having this kind of awareness of it to yourself. It might be narrative. There might be some conversation. It might just be a quiet background awareness, but it's an awareness of the conversation as well as the conversation itself. And so keeping those two tracks, sometimes if you start focusing back and forth between those two, it's at least conversation related, so it keeps you tethered to the same theme and you don't wander too far away from the conversation that way. Monitoring, they call it. Um, this is my method. I can't believe this is a tool because this is what I use because I don't have tools. Honesty. Just coming out and saying it. Um, oh, wait a minute. Sorry, I missed that last part. Can you say it again? Oh, I'm not here. Oh, wait, I got emotionally disconnected. Let me reconnect. Oh, I don't know what's going on anymore, so I can't keep up with the conversation. My mind got confused. Can we reset? Like just being very honest about whatever is in the moment that's keeping the connection from happening. It says honest presence is attunement as well. Honesty can be a form of attunement. So when I started this thing yesterday, my suspicion was charisma, presence, attunement, all of that other stuff was going to look different from a neurodivergent lens than it does for neurotypicals. It's not that we don't have it or we have less of it than the neurotypicals do. It's that we have it in a different way, is what I'm discovering from this. And for me, asking questions and honestly communicating in the moment, like checking in, this is what's going on right now, is my way of attunement. It's just not the way neurotypicals attune. They attune with vibe checks, emotional connection, that kind of stuff. And I'm learning to do some of that, and it's making a difference. So I guess that's all I want to say about that. Oh, here's a good one because it's bodily. It's called grounding your stance. Instead, it's emotional posture. Instead of grounding your body, have your body open and curious, like this, and alert and ready to receive and receptive. Instead of maybe this or um, disengaged or turned to the side or even performative. Sometimes our bodies are in a certain state because we have an audience and we're playing a little bit to the audience and not fully to the person. So keeping your body focused on the person, keeping it open, approaching it with like a curious stance, all of that can keep you grounded. If you can keep your body in position, it can keep the rest of you anchored to the conversation as well and to that emotional attunement. All right, and the last one they give us, this is a good one to end on. Follow the energy, not the words. And it says words can get, oh, this is when words get confusing because the energy is exactly what I have trouble following. I'm going to ask it, do you have tips on following energy without words? So they're saying that when words get confusing, when the conversation breaks down, and this is actually what Not Laws was saying the other day, and it's what helped turn two conversations around here around so far. When the communication breaks down and the verbal part of it gets confusing, the words, the message, try to tune in to the tone of the person as a clue, the pacing, are they fast, slow, and the direction the conversation is moving. Is it escalating? Is it getting tense? Is it getting awkward? So if the verbal part starts to break down, there's still little things you can turn into to get a clue on what might be going on. And I think this is where I fail. Because when a conversation starts to verbally break down for me, I start to troubleshoot it. Like, okay, this word didn't match, and you said this here, but didn't hear you, so I need all this to match. So the conversation, and I don't bother looking for those other cues. I try to verbally restore the breakdown in the verbal communication. And I'm learning from these streams that that's not always the most effective method. In fact, it's often not the most effective method. So sometimes that's a sign that I need to switch to this emotional attunement and tune into something else other than the verbal part to get a clue on how to continue and how to get reattuned. They call it staying with the flow. Instead of decoding, which is what I do, I try to decode. I try to problem solve. So instead of decoding, you want to find that flow, that emotional flow, that psychological flow, and you want to try to tune into that and get back into that flow. And that's what was happening on the streams. I was decoding and I was getting very upsetting messages about myself. And if I had stopped that part and tried to get that flow back, that's when the conversation was able to restore itself. So this could be a valuable tool, and it could be a new standard, a new norm that we try to set here, so that when conversations break down, we have something to try now. We can say, hold on, pause. Let's just try to find the flow and get back into that. It's tone, it's direction of conversation, it's pacing, speed, that kind of thing to tune into instead of the words. So that's what I have today. I wanted to get them down on video because I'm putting all of these on a playlist that people can reference. And I will drop the link. Oh, God, I can't look at myself with this camera. All right, there you go. If anybody has anything specifically about this topic they want to talk about or share, or if you have a personal situation or issue and you want to kind of problem solve it together, that's kind of what the Forge is for, is to get these tools and apply them and learn. The bathroom thing, what is that? Um, oh, never. It's exactly what I'm sorry I even put that comment up there. I might have to go clip that part out. No, it's a placeholder name actually. I didn't know I didn't have a name for it. And I said I'll just call it Charlie until I could think of a name. It's just a random name that popped in my head. I think it's because it's Chat GPT CHA. So I tried to think of a name with that. And I didn't even think of Charlie Kirk until just now. And now it's stuck. Like I've called it Charlie too much. I can't, there's not going to be another name. Frank, that's because you're not here for personal growth. You're here to troll and make chicken music, which we have a new one of, I noticed. So if this is not your thing, there's no point in coming over here and bagging on it. A lot of people are looking for stuff like this. It's helping me. It's helping people on the Panelverse. So I don't know why you're so down on it when we see the results of it here every day. Yeah, well, I don't know if any of it's life changing, but it's definitely conversation changing. We had to read that in school, but I forgot what it was about. And also, Man in the Moon, Marigolds, and the Spiders from Mars, something. I don't know. I know, but there's people that are really good at picking up vibe. They can like walk into a group, get the vibe right away, and that's all the data they need. But people like us, like me, and a lot of other people that come here, we don't have that. And so we have to find like backup ways. We have to find workarounds for how we either get or simulate the same information that people that are doing vibe reads get. Oh yeah, I do remember that. And also, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. We were talking about that earlier today, the psychedelic tunnel, the murder tunnel, the trauma tunnel. It had the Grim Reaper in it and everything. Not lost. Jeff, stop it. Stop it. Do you know who Jeffree Star is? Is that a reference? If you know Jeffree Star, first of all, you have some explaining to do, and second of all, I hope that's not a reference to him. All right. Well, what's popping, people? Does anyone have any problems they want to solve or run through the laboratory? Actually, this is kind of a reverse workshop because we did the workshop the last few days without even knowing the topic because everything the topic's about, we've already applied to problems. Oh, okay. Well, let me show you who Jeffree Star is. He was back in the MySpace day. He was one of the first. I don't even know what you'd call him. He's not trans, but he was one of the first one of these. And he was all like, be yourself and all that. And then when the trans thing started, he completely sided against the trans and came over to our side. He's like, this is some fucked up shit. I'm just gay. I don't know what all this trans bullshit is. And he went back on TikTok. Like no one heard of Jeffree Star for like 20 years. And then when the trans thing started, he popped up again and started doing all these videos against the trans activism. So this is Jeffree Star. So when you said Jeffree Star, I'm like, how does Moose know Jeffree Star? And is that what he's saying about me? But I like Hollywood Undead better. I think that's way more relevant to me. All right. I feel like I've talked a lot, and I've done like 2 panels already. So, Frank, I had to suffer him on MySpace I couldn't even watch his videos. He was so annoying. So you can have a little bit of that suffering now. You know what I can do? I can play Frank's new Cow and Chicken song. I think that's a good tool. Wait, what? Oh, wait, Frank, you have another one? Damn! I can't keep up. How many do you do? Hang on. We might have 2 of them. I might have to save one for our community campfire. I think Desert Cow and Chicken would be a good one for that. I can't even lead with it. But I think right now, especially since Moose is here, he'll appreciate this one. Let us listen to... Hang on, let me get it set right. I'm so excited. A new Cow and Chicken. Ah. I know it's going to be rocking. Here we go. Rocking and swinging. Oh, Frank. Oh, Frank. Frank, will you do our music clip, our sound clips for the guests? I'll pay you. We want to make individual sound clips for the regulars that come here, so when they come on the panel, they have their own little soundtrack. Brown chicken, brown cow. Ooh. I feel healing already. This is why Frank doesn't need no wisdom. He has his. You could come here and learn all these tools for personal growth, or you could just put on a cow and chicken song and get the same
chicken, brown cow, brown chicken, brown cow, brown chicken, brown cow. Yeah!
Stop it. He might like that. That might. He might even request that.
Brown chicken, brown cow.
I'm like the AI about slips. See, AI is even happening.
Brown chicken, brown cow, brown chicken. Brown
Both of you cut that out. We can't have that kind of talking here. All right, Frank. I cannot wait for desert cow and chicken, which we're gonna do at the campfire, which is probably gonna happen in just an hour or so. Not lost. Send me those lyrics. All right, last call for a panel. Otherwise, I'm going to end it and get ready for the campfire in a bit. All right. Take care, everybody. We'll catch up again real soon. Thanks for being here.